120-year untold history. Now New York's largest ethnicity. From Swami Vivekananda in 1894, Zohran's entry is a debate as New York gets controversial Indian-American mayor.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Explained by NewsX with me, Megha Sharma. The man dominating headlines in both the United States of America and India is Zohran Mamdani, who will now be New York City's first Indian-American mayor. In his victory speech, the 34-year-old Zohran Mamdani quoted lines from Nehru's Tryst with Destiny speech, saying that New York has stepped from the old into the new. Listen in to what he said.
Standing before you, I think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru. A moment comes but rarely in history when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. Tonight we have stepped out from the old into the new.
Mamdani's ideology and his past is a matter of debate. But the fact that Indians constitute one of the largest and the fastest growing ethnicities in the New York metropolitan area is not. The man on your screen is Bikaji Framji Palsara, a Parsi Zoroastrian from Bombay who is notable for being the first Indian to become a naturalized US citizen. Palsara arrived in the United States in the 1900s as a cotton buyer for the Tata Group and settled and married in New York. He applied for citizenship in 1906 but was granted the status only in 1909, for which he fought two cases, one in the Circuit Court in New York and the other in the Federal Court of Appeal. But the gateway for Indians in the United States can be traced back to as far as 1893 when Swami Vivekananda made his visit to Chicago for the 1893 Parliament of the World's Religions. At the time of Vivekananda's historic triumph at the 1893 Parliament of the World's Religions, few Americans had even met a Jew or a Muslim, much less a Hindu monk in orange robes and a turban. India was perceived by most of the United States as a backward outpost of the British Empire and Hinduism as a primitive, polytheistic, idol-worshipping religion in need of Christian missionaries. It was this speech of his which educated the US on Hinduism.
Proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true.
But New York got introduced to Indians and Hindus for the first time when Vivekananda opened the first Vedanta Society in New York in 1984. He gave public lectures such as his first one in Waldorf Hotel in India and Hinduism and held regular classes for scriptural study in private homes. Today, the United States is home to about 4.8 million Indian Americans according to data from the US Census Bureau. Indian Americans account for 20% of the nation's Asian American population. About two-thirds of Indian Americans, which is 66%, are immigrants, while 34% are US born. Around half of Indian Americans live in just 4 states: California, that accounts for 20% of Indians, Texas 12%, New Jersey 9%, and New York 7%. The median income amongst Indian American households was $145,000 in 2022, meaning that half of households held by an Indian American person earned more than that and half earned less. This is greater than the median household income among Asian Americans overall, which stands at $100,000. The population of Indians in New York City has grown exponentially in the past 50 years. In 1980, roughly 46,708 Indians lived in New York City. In 1990s, the number doubled to about 94,590. 10 years later, in 2000, it again doubled to 2006 to 28. Today, the number of Indians living in New York City is likely to have reached around 3 lakh. New York City's Indian population is one of the youngest amongst all Asian ethnic groups, with 19.7% Indians under the age of 18 years. The working age population aged 18 to 64 experienced the most significant decrease among age groups, with proportion of Indian New Yorkers decreasing by 2.4 percentage points in 2025. Of the total Indian population in New York City, 35.5% are US born, 41% are naturalized citizens, and 23.5% are non-citizens, a distribution comparable to that of the overall Asian population throughout the city. Between 2018 and 2023, the distribution remained relatively stable. However, the actual number of naturalized and non-citizen Indians, New Yorkers, decreased by 14% and 8.2% respectively. Indian New Yorkers have an average per capita and significantly higher median family and household income than New York City and Asian residents overall. The median income for Indian households is approximately 35.5% higher than the median household income in New York City. 5 industries in New York City employ 63.4% of the Indian labor force. Healthcare employs the highest percentage of Indians at 16.5%, and this includes physician offices, care facilities, and hospitals, followed by professional services such as legal, accounting, management, financial services such as banking, insurance, brokerages, retail such as grocery, apparel, and transportation such as railways, urban transit, taxis, and couriers. Several prominent Indians have made New York City their home. These are voices who have shaped law, culture, art, and public life in one of the world's most influential cities. Preet Bharara, the former US attorney for the Southern District of New York, spent years taking on Wall Street fraud and political corruption. After more than 2 decades in the city's legal and civic space, he remains a respected commentator and a familiar voice in debates of justice and accountability. Padma Lakshmi is part of New York since 1990s, transforming from model and author to an international television host and advocate. Through her work on Top Chef and her activism around immigrant and women's health issues, she has become one of the city's most recognized cultural figures. Novelist Salman Rushdie has long made Manhattan his home. For over 20 years, the city has been the backdrop for his writing, teaching, and literary life. Despite challenges, including the attack on him in 2022, Rushdie continues to write, speak, and shape global literary conversations from New York. Author and commentator Anand Giridhar has represented the city's present-day political voice. Based in Brooklyn for over a decade, he has become a leading critic in inequality and elite power. His work, including Winners Take All, places him at the center of America's ongoing debate about democracy and public responsibility. Zohran Mamdani now certainly adds his name to the list of Indian Americans in New York, but his story is not a straightforward one to tell. Mamdani was born in 1991 in Kampala in Uganda. His mother is a filmmaker, Meera Nair. She was born in 1951 in Rourkela and is known for her exploring identity, migration, and cultural intersections. Her debut film, Salaam Bombay, won the Camera d'Or at Cannes. Mamdani's father, Mahmood Mamdani, was born in Mumbai in 1946 and raised in Kampala. He is one of Africa's most respected scholars of colonialism and political violence. Zohran's election as the New York City's mayor is a huge triumph for sure. But what does this mean for Indian Americans in New York City? This is a video of Zohran at an anti-Hindu, anti-India protest at the Times Square. In the video, you can see this Khalistani and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir flags. Standing near them, Zohran says that he is standing there to protest against the BJP government in India. Listen in.
Zohran Kwame Mamdani. I am a candidate for New York State Assembly District 36, Astoria, Ditmar Steinway, Astoria Heights. I'm here today to protest against the BJP government in India and the demolition of the Babri Masjid and the attempt to build a mandir on top of the ruins of it. I'm here with my Sikh brothers and sisters.
He has also shared the stage with American Pakistani action groups and lobbying groups, such as you can see in this image. He has also been vocal on X, calling Indians Hindu nationalists for making of the Ram temple. Here are some of his controversial views about India. On farmers' protests, Zohran said that his fight connected with the protesters and announced full solidarity with them. On COVID-19, he said that this is not a natural disaster, but its rise has been fed by failed leadership, pointing at the Indian government. Then comes the most troubling observation. He has called for Narendra Modi to be viewed like Netanyahu, who is a war criminal. He has also spewed venom and tried to spread hate in India, speaking of persecution of Muslims. He said his family was expelled from Uganda because they were Indian. Today, he says, and I quote, "My brothers and sisters in India are being persecuted because they are Muslim." Recently, this video of his went viral from a Gurdwara where he is inciting the Sikhs. Listen in.
Gurdwara are facing the same concerns about how they can afford their rent, or how they can afford their water bill, or their electricity charge, or their child care, any which way that they need to survive. And this mayor has taken every opportunity to make life more expensive, all while supporting Prime Minister Modi and an Indian government approach to violence for our community members. So thank you so much for having.
This is on the back of which Indians in New York City have to ask Zoran this question: what will he do for their safety? New York City still remains one of the top destinations for Indian parents to send their children for studies abroad. Is Zoran's election one to be celebrated, or is it a cause of worry? Thank you for watching this episode of Explained on NewsX.
120-year untold history. Now New York's largest ethnicity. From Swami Vivekananda in 1894, Zohran's entry is a debate as New York gets controversial Indian-American mayor.